YouTube, and welcome to this next installment of Evian blog, electronics blog. Today I'm just going to do a little bit of a different sweep on things. Today I'm in my President HR2600 10, 11, 12 meter radio. The display on this radio has gone dead. Well, not dead, there is still display, but there's no backlighting, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be an easy fix. But I thought for those of you who aren't very technical out there, it might be a nice project for you guys to see how you can possibly change the backlighting on the LCD display to newer generation LED or something along those lines. Traditionally this backlight is an orange incandescent globe, if I'm not mistaken. Well, according to the schematic diagram it's incandescent globe. But I don't use those. I generally change them out for LEDs when I'm given the opportunity. So I'm going to open up this guy over here and we're going to have a look at the inside and test and make sure that is the problem and it's not a power issue, although the radio is working 100% besides that. And then I'm going to show you guys the procedure to change the internal globe for an LED. Stick around, let's check this thing out. Okay, so we've got our cover off on our President HR2600, and if let's go take a look inside over here. Over here is where you have the mount for the incandescent globe. I've removed it and clipped the wires over here. So what I'm going to do now is, the first step is to take a measurement to see what sort of voltage we're dealing with. Now, according to the diagram, this should be around 8 volts. As you can see, my radio is still clean. None of my radios are tampered with, except this one has the chip switch modification in it, which allows it to run from 26 to 29 meg. But anyway, I'm just going to verify this 8 volts over here, and then we're going to do a simple resistor current limiting circuit for an LED setup, and we're going to run some LEDs through here. And I'm thinking I have some blue ones which might look quite nice and sort of update the look of the radio. So let's take a look-see. Okay guys, just a bit of Ohm's law over here. When we're dealing with LEDs, I've decided to put two LEDs in series, two blue LEDs in series. So I'm going to explain to you how the formulas work. The measured voltage on that output pin is 7.9 volts globe, so it's pretty close to the 8 volts. So what I've done is, just doing a bit of Ohm's law over here, we can work out that the voltage drop across each diode is around 3.2 volts, the diodes that I've selected. We're looking at about 1.5 volts that we need to carry across the resistor over here. So quite simple, Ohm's law, we know we need about 25 milliamps. So if you take 25 milliamps, I've already done some reverse calculations, but if you take 25 milliamps, you can do it here. It's 1.5 volts divided by 25 milliamps. It'll give you your resistance value. Now the closest resistor value I've got is a 68 ohm. So if you take 1.5 volts and divide that by 68 ohms, you will get 22.1 milliamps, which is pretty much as close as I can get without overdriving the LEDs. So from that we can calculate that we're going to use a 68 ohm series resistor with these LEDs, which I've got over here from my spares bins, and I'm going to connect those up and put them in, and we should be back shortly with a nice working backlight display. What you can see, what we've done here is the two white wires with the 7.9 volts which we measured coming out have been put through a resistor, and then two LEDs, bright blue LEDs, have been installed inside. There was some proper heat shrinking, so it looks almost like an original part of the radio. Quite neat overall. So I like to keep my stuff really neat and tidy, including my work. After a few small mods, we now have a blue LCD backlight. What I need to do is just diffuse it a little bit, which I'm going to do now with some diffusion paper or some sort, so we don't have the bright spotlight effect. I'll show you the results of that shortly. Hey everybody, and just to show you guys the actual radio back in its home on the bench. Let me just turn this one down quickly. And then yeah, it's back up and running on the bench, and there's nobody around at the moment for me to do a test on, but I know she's a spot on frequency and the display is working quite nice. So I've done some tests with my own radios over here internally, and definitely working out quite well. So we'll wait and see for somebody to come on the air, and I'll give her another test run.
So that water can drain out if there is any seepage there, and it just drips out. And onto that there I attached, put up a off-center fed dipole. It's 80 meter dipole, but instead of being
now, as can be seen, the radio seems to be up and running perfectly here on the bench, receiving nicely. Everything seems to be back in order. So guys, I think that concludes this episode of the Evian Electronics blog on the HR2600 backlight replacement. Watch again in next week for a follow-up on how to tune up these Citizen band radios, as I have a selection of them which have come in for tune-up and repair. So we'll go through that slowly, step by step, and show you guys how it's done. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy, and until next time, take it easy.